Hello everybody, this is Devonella and welcome to the very first video in my Wings of Fire Clangen series. In today's video, I will be explaining the lore behind my Clangen playthrough, as well as introducing you to the founders of my clan, while a speed paint of them all runs in the background. Starting off, we have the differences between a regular Clangen world and the one based around Wings of Fire. Firstly are the role changes. Leaders are still known as leaders. I did think about making them kings and queens, but since that usually means succession through bloodlines, I decided against it, especially since Clangen doesn't really do that. Leaders receive something known as the Animus Blessing. This blessing grants the leader 9 lives, and those with the blessing get a crescent moon shaped mark in the pupils of their eyes. Now for the rest of the roles. Deputies will now be known as General, and Medicine Cat is now a healer, and the warriors are now soldiers. For the youngsters, kits are now hatchlings using hatch at the end of their name, and paws are now dragonettes, using net at the end of their name. For those outside of the clan, rogues and loners are still the same, and kitty pets are now referred to as scavenger pets. I will get more into what that means when I explain the world. The next part is the backstory of the world itself. A few thousand years ago, a group of runaways from their kingdoms flew from Pyria and found a small continent. It was only around a third of the size of Pyria, maybe even just a quarter. The group had one dragon from 5 tribes, a Nightwing, Skywing, Icewing, Sandwing, and lastly a Mudwing. They had been sick of their kingdoms, wanting to change the way they lived completely. When they found this new land, the 2 Animus dragons in the group, the Icewing and the Skywing, collaborated alongside the other 3 to enchant this new land to their liking. The full extent of the enchantments is unknown, but some have become common knowledge. Firstly is the enchantment that keeps the population healthy. It scouts Pyria for dragons from the same tribes as the runaways, and finds anyone who is looking to leave their kingdom for good. The magic teleports them to the centre of the land. The magic instantly tells them where they are, why they've been brought here, and what the basic rules of the land are. Rainwings, Seawings, and the Pantalon tribes don't appear, as they weren't considered in the spell. The next known spell is the Afterlife Enchantment. When dragons die, they can either become blessed spirits who oversee and guide the clans, or earthly spirits roaming the land, or dark spirits punished for their actions in life but can still influence the living. The last known spell is the Animus Blessing that is given to clan leaders, just like I mentioned earlier. This small continent doesn't actually have a name and is simply referred to as the lands that they live on. Unlike the other continents, it has clearly defined seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The land also has something strange about it, as the animals found living here are larger than normal. A single wolf that would have been no issue on the other continents is a genuine threat here. The last thing to note before we move on to the WingClan founders is the scavenger pet thing I mentioned earlier. Yes, scavengers are in these lands as well, and they are far more advanced and dangerous than any others. They have a single city stronghold in the north of the lands, and every so often their own patrols go out to steal dragon eggs, or if they are lucky, find a lost hatchling wandering around. They take them back to the city, raise them and train them to work, and even use them as battle mounts against wildlife, or even other dragons. Sometimes a scavenger pet will escape its home to live in the wild, and occasionally they find their way into a clan. Now, that was a lot to explain, But now, let's finally talk about the founders of the WingClan that you've been watching the Speedpaint for in the background. First up is the leader, Silverstar, a young adult Nightwing Icewing hybrid. Originally called Silverfoot, she received the Animus blessing when it was decided by the older dragons to give the leadership of a new clan to the youngsters. Silverstar is compassionate, though is trying to find her footing as a leader, a role she never considered for herself before now. Her general is Hollowshade, a Nightwing with potential distant Icewing blood, a wise dragon and the other youngster in the group. He had spent a few days travelling with Silverstar before finding the group, and this time spent together meant that he was chosen as general, though everyone else could see that he was chosen because the young leader had a crush on him. All he wanted to do was seek out prophecies, as Nightwings in these lands could no longer be moonborn, so he would keep an eye out for anyone who had been visited by the spirits, and hoped one day they would visit him too. Now, no one in the group had any healing experience, so they just decided to choose the calmest dragon, that being Yellow Lilac. He was naturally calm, an eloquent speaker and a good teacher, but it was clear to anyone that he didn't enjoy being a healer, but somebody had to do it. Yellow Lilac is a pure Sandwing and is also an adult. Next up are the soldiers of the clan, starting with the oldest, Puddlefur. He is a pure Icewing and is a senior adult, closing in on becoming an elder. He is righteous, and his older age means he flies less often. This has turned him into a great climber. Then there is Lightspot, an adult Icewing Skywing hybrid. She's a bit oblivious to things around her, but she still makes an excellent teacher and even has some clairvoyancy. She used to travel around with Jackdaw Flicker before they joined the group in hopes of having enough dragons to form a clan. Speaking of Jackdaw Flicker, she is also an adult and is a Nightwing Sandwing hybrid. She is a very thoughtful dragon with almost unnatural senses. Last but not least is Gold Needle. At first glance, this adult Sandwing Icewing hybrid looks angry at everything, but they've come to learn that despite his bloodthirsty thoughts, he's a reliable member of the group, being their best hunter and offering plenty of valuable insight. And that is everything to be revealed for now. I hope to start uploading these story videos soon. I know you guys are gonna love it. Now, there's not much time left in this Speedpaint, so I will let it run to the end. Until then, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.